Hello Scorpio, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self to ultimately create the life that you deserve and desire? As I do in all of my readings, I pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I still have the tarot deck I'll be using, the clarification deck, and the advice deck I'll be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. Things are looking a little bit different. For those of you who don't know, my channel, that I've been doing this channel since November of 2022, and it was in my kitchen. That table I was using, it was my kitchen table. So I finally got moved to a room that is going to be kind of like my studio. So things are looking a little bit different, but readings will stay the same. So let's jump in, Scorpio, to your recent past. You have Enchanted with the Ace of Swords in reverse. So in your recent past, I feel like this is an energy of feeling very in the dark with this Enchanted card. You know, feeling maybe a little bit lost, not sure where you're headed, what's going to happen, where you're going. But I feel as if, because the Ace of Swords in reverse is just in general kind of just a lack of clarity. But I feel like with this path, like with the card being enchanted, it seems as if this is the universe's way of saying like your path is protected, like you are very guided, things are working out, even if you don't really see how or understand the bigger picture, which I feel is a lot of what, you know, kind of a spiritual journey is about, is kind of surrendering to not understanding, surrendering to not having all of the answers, which is really hard because the number one thing that your ego wants is going to be control and to predict what's going to happen in your life. So when you're in the unknown or feeling a little bit in the dark, it can be really scary because you're like, I don't know if I'm going to be okay, you know, are things going to turn out bad? But that's where we really kind of have to surrender over our fears, doubts, and insecurities to something bigger than us. Now, in your current energy, you have accept help with the Eight of Wands. Right now is an energy of, you. First of all, you need to know that you have all of the support that you need moving forward, but you have to be open to it. I feel as if there's a part of you that's maybe closed off to support in some way, shape, or form. Now, that can come from like trust issues or being let down in the past, or, you know, not even really having access to help in the past. But I feel like the universe is saying, like, you have all of the support that you need, but you need to be open to it, because the universe with this Eight of Wands is trying to push you forward. Like, this is very much forward movement energy. But I feel as if wherever you're heading is going to require you to face or to have a tremendous amount of courage, because you have this courage card as your overall theme for the reading. And then your immediate future, you have face your fears with the strength card. So those are two cards of like courage and, you know, confidence and trusting the universe or trusting yourself and having faith and being willing to face your fears in the process. You know, I generally believe that the life that we deserve and desire is on the other side of the things that we're afraid of. So, you know, all of the reasons why we think we can't do it, or it's not possible, or we would fail, or, you know, facing financial fears or facing fears of being alone, like the life that we desire is on the other side of all of the things that we're afraid of. And it's, you know, it's kind of an interesting way to help us face those fears for the outcomes that we do truly desire, which again can be really difficult when things haven't worked out for you in the past, because how do you believe things are going to work out for you if you haven't believed they've worked out for you before? Now, that's where we kind of get into the deeper aspects of spirituality, where what it is that you believe is what it is that you experience. So, you know, we tend to believe in alignment with what we have experienced. So if you have experienced failure and loss and separation and lack and all of the things that you fear, then it makes plenty of sense why you're going to expect those. But that's why a healing and a manifestation journey really go hand in hand, because the more that you kind of heal where you've been, you can start to expect better for yourself moving forward. But let's see what's going on here. Let's start, Scorpio, with this past energy. You have Enchanted with the Ace of Swords in reverse. This is for Scorpio's recent past. All right. What does Scorpio need to know about their past energy? Whoa. The moon. Man, a lot of fear. Four of Pentacles in reverse. So this is very much an energy of like rug ripped out from underneath you. And I feel like you were blindsided by this. Blindsided by the rug being ripped out from underneath you. You know, I think that sometimes when things are seemingly like really not going our way, it kind of, if we're willing to look at it this way, it's the universe pushing us to face the things that kept us in places we didn't belong. So for instance, if you're, you know, in a situation where you might find yourself settling for a relationship, for certain types of treatment, for a job that, you know, isn't what you deserve, the universe will rip that out from underneath you. And to you, it's like, oh my gosh, my life is falling apart. You know, I'm losing my opportunity to be happy, to be stable, to be successful, whatever the case is. When in reality, it's the universe's way of forcing you to face the reasons why you think that you can't have better. And I think that that's a lot of what this energy is about, because with the Ace of Swords in reverse, this is an energy of not being clear on, like I said, the bigger picture, right? And the bigger picture is hard. You know, we are human beings having spiritual beings having a human experience, but we have to remember that we are spiritual beings. We are, you know, there is so much more going on than just what we can understand with our little tiny human brain. And I'm not saying that to like put you down or say that you have no idea what's going on, you stupid human. What I am trying to say is that there's always a way to look at things from a bigger perspective and to really believe from this place of things are happening for you, not to you, but it's hard. You know, when we're in situations where it feels like our life is falling apart, and I can say this from experience, it's hard to believe that it's happening for a reason. You know, I am a genuine believer and everything happens for a reason, but I also think that there has to be a period of time where you have absolutely no idea what that reason is. But as you know, progress and you take steps in faith and you're willing to lean into that belief that everything is happening for a reason, things typically turn out even better than they were before things fell apart. And again, I know how hard it is to really tap into that way of thinking, but that way of thinking can certainly get you really far. But let's see. I mean, this is tough. This is a tough energy. So I don't want to downplay it and say like, oh, everything's happened for a reason. Like, you're fine. Because I do feel like this is hard. But I do want this, you know, reading to kind of just come from this place of maybe it's actually working out better than you think. All right, what else does Scorpio need to know about this past energy? It's also, I have a window in here, but you can't even tell. It's so dark outside because it's storming right now, which kind of funny enough is like how I actually feel this energy is. It's like there's maybe a lack of light or a lack of kind of bright energy, just kind of a little bit of a storm cloud here that I feel has been in your life. Now, I don't know if it's currently affecting you as much, but definitely in this past energy. Page of Wands with the Tower in reverse. So this is what's interesting. And then there's the Six of Cups. And look at that, Strength in reverse. And you have the Strength upright in your immediate future. So here's one of the things that is so interesting about human beings. One of the best things I ever did for myself was just I studied the heck out of psychology and just understanding the human brain. And I'm by no means a therapist or a psychologist. I did a lot of self-help, but that's really the extent of my training. But one of the things that I find super interesting about humans is we tend to prefer what it is that is familiar, what it is that we are used to, what it is that is predictable, even if those situations hurt us, even if they make us unhappy, even if it isn't really the life that we want to live. We actually, on some level, prefer those experiences because there is a certain level of control, because we know what it's going to feel like and what it's going to look like and, you know, how things are going to go. And so before we really kind of have an awakening to our greater potential and what is really possible for us. We tend to live in alignment with what we're used to. And I feel like that's a lot of what this energy was about, is you were in places and in situations that you were very familiar with, relationship dynamics or financial situations or jobs or, being burnt out all the time or being taken advantage of, like whatever the case might be. This, the energy that you were in was very much in alignment to energy that you are used to experiencing. But the energy that you're used to experiencing isn't the energy you deserve. And that is why I feel like the universe came in, ripped that rug out from underneath you, because it wasn't the universe's way of saying you can't be stable, you can't be happy, you can't have this. It was the universe's way of saying you are deserving of more. It's just that you don't see that yet, because to you, this is all that's possible. Because again, we tend to expect an alignment with what we have experienced. So I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm not saying you did anything wrong. It's literally just kind of part of the human journey. We really have to learn to override the ego mind and the desires to stay in control, because that is where we allow our fear to really take over. When we're living from a place of allowing our fear to decide for us, then we're not choosing faith. We have to learn to lean into the faith that we are being supported by something bigger than us. But the hard part is the extent to which we experience the universe's support is directly proportional to the extent that we believe in it. So if you're waiting to experience it to believe in it, then you're never going to believe in it, because you take steps in it to experience it. I hope that made sense. But yeah, I do definitely feel like this is, whatever this energy was, it was very familiar, which is why with this Enchanted card, that's why I feel like it really is Spirit's way of saying you don't understand. You might not understand the bigger picture. You might not understand what's going on here, but this is happening for a reason. And I think that you'll see that when you get to wherever this is taking you. All right, what else does Scorpio need to know about this past energy? It's really weird doing tarot in a different room. I've been doing it in that I only ever did tarot at that last table. It's kind of a weird switch up for my energy. All right, reset past for Scorpio. King of Wands in reverse. So King of Wands in reverse is very much an energy of not taking action, lack of action due to a lack of self-confidence. So lack of action due to self-doubt. I think that this might be one of those situations where you maybe knew you were unhappy, or you knew it wasn't exactly what you wanted, but you were afraid that maybe taking action towards something better would mean you would miss out on the bare minimum of whatever situation you were in, or something of that nature. I do feel like there's a little part of you that kind of knew this wasn't right, or this wasn't where you belonged. This wasn't where you belong. I don't know. I just feel like this is in general. Okay, now I'm caught up on the belong thing. Is belong the word? Why am I being weird about that? In general, I do feel like you knew on some level this, because with the Five of Wands here, there's this energy of inner conflict. It's you're well, should I stay? Should I go? Should I try? Should I keep trying? Should I give up? Should I surrender? Should I take a leap? Should I stay where I'm at? I feel like there was this inner conflict that was going on for a while. Belonged is not a word. I'm 99% sure right now. I swear when I do readings, sometimes I genuinely just forget how to speak English. It's very interesting. Okay, current energy for Scorpio. You have accept help with the Eight of Wands. Accept help with the Eight of Wands. Empress. Ooh, with the World in reverse. Okay. So you're showing up here as the Empress. This is an identity thing. I don't know why it's an identity. Empress, World in reverse, Ace of Pentacles, Nine of Wands. Here's the thing. Scorpio, I feel like you are very used to being in places where you are valuable to the people around you, but yet at the same time you feel undervalued. So feeling as if you're valuable in other people, you're valuable when you provide value to other people, other than like, but if you're not providing value to other people, then you're not valuable. But in the places you were in, it required you to undervalue yourself in order to value others, which is why, because that's the cycle here with the world in reverse. This is what keeps repeating. Because at the end of the day, you feel undervalued. You feel not good enough. You feel undeserving. Because you're giving out so much and being valuable to everyone around you, yet you are being undervalued. Which is going to start making you question your value. Because if you're showing up with all of this value for other people, but you're being undervalued in the process, you're going to start to wonder, is what I'm giving enough? And the answer to that is yes, absolutely. Because I feel like you've been showing up just with so much love and care and compassion for those around you, so much loyalty, commitment, all that stuff, but you're not used to being in places where you are also experiencing that same energy. So the cycle is you staying in places that really aren't fair to you. Like, that's what it comes down to. I know it's kind of can kind of sound like a blanket statement, but being in places that aren't fair to you. And this wasn't fair to you. And I feel like you knew that. I don't know if you knew you were being treated unfairly or if you were in an unfair situation, but maybe you stayed because you were like, well, what if this is as good as it gets, or what if I never get anything better, or even just like, where would I go, what would I do, like, this is like kind of like stuck in the belief that this was your only option. We got to get to the root of that, Scorpio, which is why you have accept help, because you're used to doing everything for everybody else, Scorpio, but you're not used to being supported. You're not used to being the one experiencing support. And that is the root of the problem. Because if you're always the one doing everything for everyone else, but you're not experiencing support, you're not going to trust anyone, especially if you're consistently being undervalued. All right, current energy for Scorpio. Accept help with the 8 of Wands. The 2 of Cups with the High Priestess. And there's the Ace of Swords. So it's almost like this energy of clarity, of a breakthrough. You're in the energy of a breakthrough of some sort. Like this moment of, because there's the Justice. It's like this moment of, I deserve more than this. But this 2 of Cups is interesting because this isn't something external. This is something internal. It's like finding within yourself this almost like self-compassion to be able to say, like, I'm deserving of more. I'm capable of more. Like, one of the things that I've learned in my experience, both throughout my life and in coaching others, is that a lot of people spend a lot of time waiting. So waiting on other people to value them, waiting on other people to choose them, waiting on other people to see who they are, or to treat them, according to how they deserve to be treated. But if you're waiting, if you just spend your time waiting, you'll be waiting forever, because what you're actually waiting on is for you to do all those things for yourself. You're waiting on you to choose yourself, on you to value yourself, on you to believe you're deserving of more. We spend so much of our time proving to others, look at me, look how valuable I am, look at how deserving I am, we do it a lot just in maybe like you see it a lot in just kind of corporate jobs, like trying to climb the ladder, look at my value, see my worth. And there's nothing wrong with corporate jobs by any means. But if you're in a situation where you're just consistently feeling underappreciated, undervalued, but in like no matter how much you try, no matter how much you give, no matter how much you show up, you still feel like you're not being seen, you're not being heard. That is an indication that you're waiting on other people to decide your value, and you have to decide your value for yourself in order for things to actually change. So that's what this breakthrough, it's like an inner breakthrough, a moment of clarity where you're like, I don't need you to value me. I don't need you to tell me what I'm worth. I don't need you to, see what I'm deserving of. I get to decide that for myself, but my movements, choices, and decisions have to come from this place of me knowing that in order for me to create a reality that aligns with that. And I feel like that's where it's like that's this period that you're in, but that's where the accept help comes in, is you have to believe that you are supported in that process. You have to believe the universe has your back. You have to believe that you can choose yourself and value yourself regardless of what other people think. Like, finally sticking it to your boss and saying, I'm done, doing all this work for you and being undervalued. Like, I quit, or I can't do this anymore, or whatever. Same with a relationship. Like, I can't do this anymore. That's what this feels like. This moment of just like intense clarity where you're like, I'm done. And I think this is really powerful for you because, again, I said, requires you to have a lot of courage, because whatever move you make next is going to require you to face the fears that have kept you in places that didn't align with your worth, which is hard. Current energy for Scorpio. What does Scorpio need to know about their current energy? The Judgment in reverse. It's like the illusion becomes clear. Like maybe you had rose-colored glasses of a situation. You had rose-colored glasses of a situation, and then you see things clearly. Like, this is kind of a silly example, but it's one that I can really relate to. For a long time, I worked in the corporate world. And again, nothing wrong with the corporate world, if that's for you. But I worked for this specific company. And when I first started working for this company, it was like, wow, this company is amazing. They really care about their employees. Like, they really want to help me. They really value me. They really think that I'm awesome and wonderful. And they were like always the first ones to cheer me on and all this stuff. Until like my performance was a little off. Like if I was sick or if I missed work for something, like then the attitude kind of changed. And then I realized, over time, over a few years of working there, that like it was almost like no matter how hard I tried, I wasn't actually fully valued and appreciated. Like my pay stayed the same. They weren't actually there for me like they said they would. And it's like this illusion that I had built, like, oh, this is so wonderful. I started seeing things through clarity, which was kind of just like, oh, like I'm just another employee, right? And it was hard for me ego-wise, but it did help me realize that I was waiting on people who were never going to value me to value me. I've had this moment kind of in relationships too, where you kind of put someone on a pedestal and you're like, I'm waiting on you to value me, to heal, to grow, all these things. And then you kind of have this moment where you're like, oh my gosh, you're never going to change. Things are never going to change. Like it's weird because it kind of hits you, and it's a little weird because you've been seeing things a certain way. This feels like an intense breakthrough for you, Scorpio. And I feel like it opens up your mind to maybe different paths or different options or different outcomes in a way, and that actually leads you to better places. So let's see what Scorpio needs to know moving forward. This table is a little smaller, and since this is my first reading, I'm still learning like where I'm going to place everything. What does Scorpio need to know moving forward? That's upright. The Chariot, the High Priestess, and the Lovers. Your intuition is trying to move you to what it is you deserve, to what truly aligns with your value, with your worth here. But you know what? This, Lovers, is on the other side of your fear. I can't leave this job. How would I pay the bills? I can't leave this relationship what if nothing better comes along? I can't start this business. What if I fail? Like, and I'm not saying up and quit your job, leave that relationship today. No, but as soon as you start to see things as they are, and you start to realize, okay, yeah, no matter how much I try, no matter how much I show up, no matter how valuable I am, I'm still undervalued. and you realize that that's never going to change, then you start to say, okay, if I'm waiting on them to value me, but yet they continue to undervalue me, how can I value me? What is within my control? What can I do to move forward so that I can decide what I'm worth? So that I don't have to wait on this person or this thing to prove to me that I'm valuable. I can create a life that aligns with knowing I'm valuable. For me, like, that was quitting a job where I was always waiting on a boss to value me and creating my own business. Realizing that I had more value than the way that I was being treated. Which is not an easy thing to do, but it was terrifying. It was terrifying to do that. But on the other side of that fear is a wonderful life that I'm literally so grateful to have. So I feel like that's why if you have to be open to the universe's guidance, the universe's support to move you forward to new and better experiences. And those new and better experiences are going to require you to face things you're afraid of. But there are solutions, there are options that can help you in the progression of this path and of your journey. What else does Scorpio need to know moving forward? That's upright too. Ace of Cups, Three of Wands. This is, ooh, Scorpio, there you are, Queen of Cups. This is you finally stepping out of your comfort zone. This is you doing it. Whatever this is, whatever the decision is, whatever it is that you've been on the fence about, whatever it is you were unsure of, this is your confirmation. This is the universe saying, like, it's like the answer is yes. Take that step, take that leap. Be open to options. Like, you don't need to know exactly what everything's going to look like. Like, something that, the story that comes to mind is something that my fiance is currently going through, where he has been struggling with his current job. And I knew it for a long time. Like, I could tell he was unhappy, and I'd bring it up to him. I'd be like, I just don't seem happy. And he'd say, I'm okay. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm okay. I like my job. He's a social worker. It's a very passion-driven field. And so I just kind of, left it alone. Until one day he was like, you know what, I'm not happy. I was like, I know, but I'm glad you're, kind of open to it. And he was like, but I don't know what I'd do. I don't know where I'd go. So it's hard to admit to myself that I'm unhappy. And he wouldn't mind me telling this story, by the way. He told me that I could. And eventually, we just kind of started brainstorming, and we were like, well, what if you did this, and what if you did this? And anyway, come to find out, he found a job that is perfect for him, that is a little bit outside of his career field, but still very much in alignment with his expertise, but something completely different than the path that he was on. And he's so excited about this opportunity. And we've had a lot of conversations of just me talking about kind of helping people take steps in the direction of the life that they desire, and how the first step is kind of being honest with yourself that something needs to change, and just kind of well, what really drove you to getting to that point? And he was like being open to other options, basically, is what it comes down to. So as soon as you're open to other solutions that are outside of what you might expect are going to appear. So if you're sitting here I can't do this, or I can't do that, or I can't make this move, or I can't blah, 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 just know that right there, your affirmation of that is what is blocking the solution, is what is blocking the option for you to move forward. There are options, there are solutions. You can just say, I'm open to solutions, universe, guide me to them. I'm not sure of them, but I know they're there. Change your verbiage, change your language, change your perspective, because then you might see that things actually turn out better than you expect as soon as you become open to them. And I feel like that's what this is about, is being open to things being different, being open to change, being open to a new direction, being open to, things kind of working out in a way that might be different than what you've expected, but still very much in alignment with what you deserve. I'm running out of room on my table. I have to figure out a different way to put these cards. But anyway, I definitely feel like this is you taking steps out of your comfort zone. This is you moving forward in the direction toward what it is you truly deserve. All right, one more. What does Scorpio need to know moving forward? I guess I could get rid of my little decorations, but I like my decorations. I get compliments on them all the time. That's not the only reason I like them, but... The Justice with the Sun. Oh my gosh. This is with the Six of Wands, this is the universe trying to move you to the happiness, the fulfillment, the joy, the light that you deserve. But you have got to stop waiting. That's what this reading is about. I'm not saying you've got to stop doing this, but like, you've got to stop waiting for things to change, and you have to start being open to doing whatever is within your power to create change. Because I do feel like, and yes, it's going to take courage, and yes, you're going to have to face your fears, and yes, it's going to be scary, but that's like kind of the point. If things were just always easy, and we always knew everything was going to work out, and oh, if I take this step, then I'm going to be successful, and you would literally never learn, you would never grow, you would never get to know yourself, you would never face those deeper parts of yourself, you would just kind of like move through life, and there would be no point. So, one of the best things I've ever learned is that courage and faith really do go hand in hand, in terms of like, we tend to have more courage to take steps in the direction towards the life that we deserve whenever we believe we're supported in that life, when we have faith in the universe, when we have faith in something bigger than us. So that's a lot of what this reading is about for you. And like, look at this. Look at how bright and happy and wonderful this energy is. And you know what? The sun hasn't come out yet, but it stopped raining. It stopped storming outside, which is really cool for the way that this reading has kind of, especially kind of seeing the sun. It's just like, it's almost like the universe is actually trying to guide you to better, but you have to be open to what that looks like being different than what you've had in mind. Not that it's going to be worse or not as good or anything like that. It's just, it's going to be different, and different can sometimes be better. So overall theme of the reading is courage. I don't know. Do I put that there? I don't know. We'll see. My gosh. I was used to our giant kitchen table, but I had to like move the kitchen table every day, and it added like almost 30 minutes to my workday that could have been used, not setting up for the day. All right, Scorpio, thank you so much as always for your support of my channel. I don't like that right there. I obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to look at what you can do right now to ensure you're moving forward in alignment with your higher self. So this is what you need to know. Extended is what you can do. Any information for that is in the description box below. Thank you again. And as always, Scorpio, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Scorpio.